Hello, dear friends, and welcome to episode 0 for Random Rhapsody's Sonnet of Blood. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and game master for this Curse of Strahd playthrough, and joining me around my virtual table tonight are Brandy, Daito, Joe, Marty, and Natalie. Say hi, everyone.
Hi.
Everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Now, before we begin, we do have a few announcements to get through, starting with our first of two sponsors for tonight's show, Hero Forge. Hero Forge offers customizable tabletop miniatures with dozens of fantasy species and thousands of parts to choose from. Their easy-to-design tools let you build your perfect miniature online using fully 3D in-depth character creator right in your web browser, which is where we built all of the tokens for this campaign. Hero Forge also offers custom minis in a variety of materials, including color printed options and downloadable models for 3D printers. They are constantly expanding the catalog of customizable options, and they add new parts every week. So they also like to feature new species with custom posing, and they do this on a really regular basis. You can check them out at heroforge.com. Our second sponsor for tonight is XSplit. XSplit is a high quality virtual webcam background remover that works with your already existing webcam. Using this program, you can protect your privacy while you work or play remotely. You can blur, you can remove the background entirely, or you can even put your favorite picture in the background, just like I did right now. XSplit can also be used as a broadcaster for content creation. You can download the app today at xsplit.com, and if you use the coupon code RANDOM, you can get 10% off your purchase. You can find both of their referral links in the chat at any point. And that should do it for the announcements. So join us as we dive into a brand new, bloody story with a group of unlikely heroes as they attempt to survive. A sonnet of blood.
So good.
And we're back. Now, our story begins in the sprawling city of Northamia, the capital of the kingdom of Radagast. The world of Laropa has changed somewhat over the last 2.5 decades or so. But as the old adage goes, the more things change, the more they stay the same. As new locations are discovered, these unlikely places are often explored by seasoned field agents of the Erudite Conclave, a globally recognized organization of lore masters, archaeologists, historians, lore masters, and archivists. One such group has been commissioned to travel to the port of Risingmore, a city in the northern coast of the Dwarven hegemony, where recent earthquakes have opened a new pass into the Cragmire mountain range. This group has been tasked with exploring this newly discovered region, cataloging their findings, and cartographing the region before returning to the Conclave for their reward. our scene pans down toward a simple conference room inside a 10-story building made entirely of tan stone, which is on the northern shore of the city. This group is meeting together for the very first time to begin their assignment. Your group's research liaison has already arrived in the conference room, and they are patiently waiting for each of you to arrive. And so, because I always love to do rolls and command them, I want everyone to roll a d20 for me real quick, and we're going to see who's arriving first. So roll those d20s, everybody.
Just straight D20?
Just a straight d20.
Oh, that actually.
Oh, mine glitched. I'll just take the first one at a.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, so it looks like Danika, you are the first person to arrive. The Conclave building, like I said, is a 10-story tall tan stone building. When you enter it, you basically come into a small office room where a person behind the desk is sitting there waiting. And once you tell them your name, they direct you to the conference room, which you open it up to see a human woman, a tabaxi woman, sitting there at a long table filled with 6 other seats. So, Danica, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? Describe what you look like and what we're all seeing for the first time.
Okay. Danica is a half elf that grew up in the city of Risingmore. She had lost her parents at an early age. Her memories that she made with them are kind of far and few between. It's hard for her to recall their faces anymore. Her early years were a bit difficult. She had to fend for herself. Um, she, she fight for what she got. There was a younger man in her life. His name was Waylif Farpride. And he kind of showed her the secrets of Risingmore. They had to resort to kind of theft, bribery, and just kind of some underhanded things to kind of get by. But one night, Waylif ended up disappearing, and the only thing that was left were some ruffians looking to collect some debt from him. So Danica ended up kind of alone again. But an elderly dwarven woman named Marnia had taken pity on her and basically took her in. Marnia had run a shop that Danica had frequented. But Marnia had taught Danica to play instruments and recite poetry, and that's how her love of the arts began to grow. So after that, as Danica got older, she started traveling the area of Risingmore, kind of building her reputation as a bard. And then she would visit home every once in a while to visit Marnia until she got older, and then she settled back down in Risingmore to take care of her. Um, and then Danica ended up finding a new passion. She worked at the local orphanage there until Marnie ended up passing away. Danica ended up going to the Conclave, actually with the request from Risingmore, for them to come and check out this new mountain pass that had appeared. But like I said, she's a half elf. She's got kind of blonde hair. She's petite. She's got some light blue eyes. Um, just, just very easy to look at.
You're muted to us, man, if you're talking.
Yeah, sorry. As you step into the room, your liaison steps up and greets you. Welcome, Danica. Please just have a seat over here, and we'll be meeting the rest of your companions shortly. And just as she says that, Vide. The door opens, and what do we see?
So Vide is a tall, lean man with shaggy black hair, unkempt, about 3 days growth on his cheeks and chin. a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow going on there. He's human in appearance, with pallid, almost ashy skin. Uh, he has pale gray eyes that carry just the barest hint of cloudiness about them. He's dressed in leathers with a long, tattered duster coat that definitely looked like it has seen better days. He wears a wide belt on his hips with a strange-looking wooden mask at his side that appears to be painted to resemble a skull. Peeking out from underneath that mask is the handle of a strange-looking apparatus. On his opposite hip hangs a long bowie knife whose scabbard is strapped against his thigh. On his back is a dusty, worn backpack of a long, weary traveler. Um, he's here trying to figure out a little bit more of his past, get some questions answered. He's got to do this quest first in order to get into the conclave to get some more information from them.
Nice. Not long after Vide steps in and the Tabaxi begins ushering him inside, we see Urzak. Why don't you tell us what we see?
Yeah, so Urzak is a pretty imposing figure, probably about 6'4", 6'5", very well-built, half-orc, green skin, thick black hair and beard, wearing some pretty heavy-looking armor, a shield at the side, long sword at the other side. Pretty basic stuff. Looks to be of the church, for sure.
Yeah, and when you step foot, the Tabaxi kind of looks at you, takes a look at your armor and the regalia on you, and she kind of does a little bit of a double take and glances down in the large book that she's carrying, kind of opens it up and flips a few pages and looks back at you and says, "Oh, so Urzak, yes, well, I knew that a member of the Church of the Five was going to be representing themselves on this expedition, but, well, I wasn't expecting such a well-armored individual. Good. That makes me glad to know that you can take care of yourself."
Of course.
You step forward as well and take your seat, and not long after that, we have, Delphine. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what we see?
So Delphine is a medium height, very slender, chocolate brown skin. She has her hair in braids that just look never ending. They go from like a brown to almost like a gold, and a rapier at her side. The leather armor that she wears, that she wears is also in like the golds and the browns and the earth tones. But what really makes her stick out is out of her temples is this like fleshy elder cross of thorns that come across her forehead. That if you look long enough, they might move. Did they move? They might have moved. Which is from her, which is a sign of her Fey ancestry and her Hexblood's curse.
And as you step into the room as well, you're greeted by the Tabaxi, who says, and a member of the Arcanum is joining us as well. This is going to be a marvelous expedition. And last but not least, on the tail end, rolling at 2, we have the shortest member of the party.
DK.
Go ahead, Corwin.
Well, if anybody's sitting down, They may not see him when he walks in. They'll see the door open. All right. Depends on how tall that table is. Yeah, Corwan Oliver Goodwood walks in. He is a halfling individual. He's got gray hair, kind of shaggy gray hair, with a nice, very thick, like handlebar mustache and beard combo across his face. He's wearing kind of simple colors. A lot of them, actually. I mean, I didn't think about it. Correspond with the colors of the Conclave because he is a member of the Conclave. He doesn't look it, but he is 112 years old, and he's spent the majority of his life at the Conclave as a librarian, a researcher, translator. Pretty much any job he could do within there. He hasn't done the adventuring thing very often just because he was a little too scared to get out there. He had some bad luck. He used to be a field translator, and some very horrible things happened, and so he's kind of stuck inside for the rest of his time. But yeah, he's just a kind of very cheerful individual, just walking in there, and I'm assuming he probably knows this Tabaxi woman individual since they are colleagues. So he might give her a little. He's like, "Hello, how are you doing today?"
Yeah, you actually would recognize the research liaison. This is Laminar Fisk. She's been with the Conclave for quite a few years. She's probably in her middling years, you would estimate, but not nearly as old as you, probably. But she greets you warmly. Oh, welcome, Corwan. Lovely to see you as well. It's been far too long. I'm so excited to see you on an expedition again.
Yes, ma'am. It's been an interesting change of life, so it is fun to get out there again.
Well, this is certainly a job that you can use to get your feet wet again. We're very excited to have you all. Please, everybody, come sit down and we will begin. She waits until each of you take your seats and situate yourselves. And she begins passing out just a small envelope of just a small packet of information. She hands one to each of you, and you open it up, and there's just a few papers describing the what you're doing, the region you're going to, etc., etc. She says to you, "Now, this assignment has been sent to us from the governor of Risenmore herself, Dame Merriweather. Recently, a new pass has been opened in the Cragmire mountain range, which lies south of the port city. From what scouting reports has gathered, it seems to be a clear pathway up and into the Cragmire Mountains in an area that, well, quite frankly, has not been able to be explored since all the troubles that happened a handful of years ago. So now that we have a clear method into it, we are sending a research expedition, you all, in to explore it. Of the papers that you see, there is a small map of the region. Basically, the town of Risingmore lies on the northern coast of the Dwarven hegemony, the Dowaran Empire, Dowarn Empire, which is in a very, very tenuous relationship with the Kingdom of Radagast. Now, the erudite conclave, she reminds you all, is indifferent to the politics of the world. They operate well above and outside things like laws and that sort of matter, because they are the actual historians of the world. It's their job to record history and to settle disputes and to understand the law and so on and so forth. So they have treaties with most countries on Europa. This request, she's told, has a very nice payment because it's such a unique assignment, a unique opportunity to explore an area that hasn't been explored before. She tells you that for completion of this mission, each of you will receive 1,000 pieces, which is a pretty tidy sum. You're told that once once everyone is ready, you can head to the docks, and you are going to be book passage on a boat called the Fairwaters. The Fairwaters, which is owned by a Captain Talia Muckroll. You can find her at the docks of the northern part of the city. They are waiting for you, and they've already sent down the donkeys and the wagon and all of the supplies that your group is going to be given for this mission. They estimate that, ignoring travel time, which will take you about 4 days to travel from North Amia to Rising, they estimate that this trip should take no longer than 2 weeks. It's just a simple head up along the pass, explore it, see where it leads, map out the region as best you can, take notice of any regional threats, because the Cragmire Mountains are well known for copper dragons in that area. So definitely keep a lookout for that. But other than that, it should be a relatively easy mission. After she kind of gives this little bit of an explanation, she pauses for a moment. She says, "Now, this opportunity is one that can very easily lead to much, much more. Those of you who are not official members of the Conclave, if and when you complete this mission, which we have no reason to believe you will not, you will be offered a position as a field researcher within the Conclave. If you choose to accept it, you will be given the opportunity of access to all of our records and data and lore and things of that nature. We have a very, very good repository of magical spells." She kind of glances over at Delphine, and she says, "If not, no worries. This is, of course, a unique opportunity, and that's why we have members of the Church of the Five," and she nods at you, and then as well as the Arcanum, and she nods at you, Delphine, and she says, "So with that in mind, does anybody have any questions about the mission as a whole, or what we expect of you for this mission?" She kind of glances around the table.
How big of a threat are the copper dragons in that area?
There are occasional reports of ships traveling along the coast that are attacked by coppers. They are occasionally seen in flying over the range, but for the most part, copper dragons are relatively a decent species and don't often attack unless provoked. Our more concern is in case you happen to find like a nest or a clutch of them hiding somewhere in that area. Now, we always recommend do not engage in a dragon if you can avoid it. But if they do come and attack you, you are absolutely authorized to defend yourselves. Now, do we expect any trouble? No. Do we plan for it? Absolutely.
Will we have any sort of communication with the Conclave proper while on this expedition?
Unless any of y'all have a sending spell, which I don't believe you do, I would say probably not. You can always send a message via Raven if you need to, or if you have any other magical means. But we don't provide anything of that sort. Unless you wish to buy something of that, we do absolutely offer spell scrolls if you have the need.
So what you're saying is, we're basically on our own here?
I mean, The Conclave does expect its field researchers to be self-sufficient and be able to complete their tasks. But if you
we
have
have
the
each
means
other.
to check in, you absolutely are good to do so.
You know, everybody, we're gonna have each other. That's all we need.
All I've got is short range.
Yeah, most of our people in the field, if they don't have the spells, I mean, they're kind of on their own anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the test of a field research.
This is fair.
Okay then. Well, you have your information and you have your booking pat made already. So, unless you have any other questions, I wish you a good luck in your assignment, and I hope to see you very very soon, probably in about a month or so. All things considered. With that, she closes up her book and thanks you all once again and tells you that she looks forward to reading your reports. And she glances at you, Corwin, and you know what she means when she says,
Oh, yes, ma'am.
She's looking. She's going to read those reports. But after that, you're pretty much left on your own. You have the booking paid for and ready to go down by the docks, but you don't really have to go and board the boat before. Like you have a few hours or even a day or so if you really want to spend it. And Northamia is open to you. Northamia is a very large metropolis of a city. It's actually the second largest city on the continent. So pretty much anything, if you want something, it's probably there. And some of you still have a little bit of coin that you're able to work with. So if you want to pick up anything before you hitch up on the boat, you can. Or if you want to just head over to the boat, it's entirely up to you. But the city of Northamia is open to you. So what would you like to do?
Would I be able to find ammo here?
But you know very well that your dear friend Falderal, your technology is new. It has only just been invented. He gave you a good supply of ammunition to get you going, and he's taught you the method to make more. But like bullets and gunpowder and stuff like that aren't like regularly sold in the store. Basically there's one person that knows how to make them, and he's in that one place. But you know how to get the supplies.
Okay, that's fair. So what I have on my character sheet is what you have allotted me.
Yeah, you have a decent supply of ammunition already. You also there is a way to make more that you know how to do. The amounts you can buy depends on how much gold you have. So if you want to go buy some of those supplies and spend the gold that you got for that, you certainly can.
Yeah, I might go ahead and do that. What? If you want to do it later, we can do it later. We don't have to do it.
How much? Yeah, how much gold do you actually have?
I have 10.
You have 10, and
Yeah.
if you want to spend all of that 10 on supplies, you could have 10 gold worth of crafting supplies for those bullets. So it's basically lead and a bunch of chemicals.
Yeah, honestly, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea too, because I don't know how easy it's gonna be to come by later.
Sure. Then you can go ahead and put down that. Like, we're not going to take a long time with this. We're not going to take a long time at all.
No, that's fine.
But,
Like I said, we can settle it up later.
but you can say that you've got 10 gold worth of crafting supplies for you. Just leave it at that. Is there anybody that wants to get anything? We'll do it real quick, and then we'll head to the docks. Or if there's anything else you want. And you don't have to. You can just say No, Matt, we just want
Yeah.
I think
No, sir.
I
mean,
think
I
the thing I
would've-
want, I don't have near enough money for. So
Yeah, I didn't think you would. This is more like, hey, I want to buy a 10-foot pole. Okay, cool. Stuff like that.
Can Danika stop at a local pub and try to make some money real quick by
Depends on
singing?
depends on how much time you want to spend doing so.
I don't know. Are we in a rush? We're not in a
Danica
rush.
misses the
Is
boat.
everybody else in the
Not on
group
the
in a rush though? How much
No, we
money
can.
can I make in 2 hours?
So you want to spend take 2 hours. I mean, it's the middle of the afternoon. If you want to spend 2 hours and your friends or your teammates head to the docks first, it's like this is the time for your group to argue with you.
I mean, if she really wants to do that, if she brings that up, I mean, Cord would be like, I actually have an establishment you could go play in. My lady friend runs a, guess you could call it a gentleman's club, called the Dancing Lily. It's in a seedier part of town, but I mean, she would probably love having, live entertainment. If you really want to do it.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you head over to a pub. I'm going to make this really quick. You're going to make 2 performance checks. And if you do really well, I'm going to roll a couple dice, and we're going to see how much you make off of it.
Okay, it's been a while. Let me see what I'm doing.
Do the rest of you go and watch her performance, or do you say screw this and head to the boat?
Corbin will go.
I think Urzak's kind of mission on the mind right now. I think he's just heading to the boat and waiting.
Same.
Corbin will go. Oh.
Vide will go. Just
Oh. All right, that started this off great, man.
Yeah, so that was a
Was that a
9
2 and a
an
3?
8. Wow.
Wow.
Okay, so
Danika, after this performance, is gonna take like a really deep bow, and she's gonna look like she just did like the best show of her life.
yeah, so while Urzak and Delphine just go heading to the boat, because why listen to a performance when you can check out a boat? Danika goes over to Corwan's lady friend's place and puts on a really shoddy performance. Like, it's just ridiculous. There's a few people like rubbing their ear afterwards. In total, you have earned 8 copper pieces.
That's so bad.
Oh wow.
Cord will go to.
8 copper pieces
Hey.
is better than no
That's
copper.
nothing, yeah.
That's
Right.
true. You made some money, and that's what matters.
Cord will go talk to Lily Bless. That's his lady friend that owns the place. He's like, I promise, I just met her today, sweetie. I'm hoping she's better in the future. I mean, we're kind of going to depend on it. I apologize.
Yeah, that was not what I was expecting when you asked to have one of
Oh,
your friends
no.
before. That was terrible.
I mean, really, I just did meet her. She's like, I would love to play to earn some extra coin. It's like, well, maybe you could help out. And I hope I didn't run anybody off.
She kind of overhears them, and she just walks over and she's like,
Oh.
"This is amazing! I can donate this to the orphanage as soon as I get back."
You know what? I think if he hears that, he's gonna like, I know bullshit when I hear it. God damn it!
Yeah, you have no clue whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeesh, you guys.
He's like, you know what? That's awesome. I really respect that. That's really good. He's gonna look at her. He's like, I don't think she's saying the truth. Just looking at Lily like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she pats your shoulder lovingly, but like you can tell she's like side-eyeing a little bit. There's definitely a few people that's left thanks to this performance, and very dejectedly, the 3 of you head over to the boat as well.
You just hop up on the bar, just kind of give her a kiss on the cheek. He goes, I'll see you in a little while, sweetie.
Yeah, she gives you a kiss goodbye as well, and she says, You be safe now. You be careful. I'm
Oh,
looking
well.
forward to hearing about your journeys when you get
Yes,
back.
ma'am. I'll have books full for you.
She kind of chuckles and gives your hair a little tousle and then kisses you once more before heading out. And you all make your way down to the docks. Now, the Fairwaters is a lovely two-masted boat. It's not huge, and when you make your way up, you're introduced to the captain, which I actually did this up really quick. So I accidentally X'd out my sheet. Anyway, you're introduced to Talia Muckroll. She is a yellow-skinned tiefling woman of middling to late years. You can definitely see some wrinkles behind those eyes, and she's very thin and reedy woman. She also has a few other people, but she tells you as she's walking you around that due to the wagon and the donkeys, they had to send some of their crew ashore to make up for the extra weight. So your boat ride's going to be a little bit slower than normal, but it still shouldn't take you more than 4 days to arrive in Rising Moor. She takes you around and introduces you to those who are left. The first mate is Kaija Tunner. He is a tan-skinned halfling man. You're also introduced to a large Goliath of a man named Mickledorn, and a Luxodon female by the name of Bors. Last person you're introduced to is a Tabaxi female by the name of Rivets, who's the lineman on the boat. And you see her kind of very nimbly swinging from rope to rope as she climbs up and down the mast and deals with the sails. It's a very neat performance, and it's almost like watching a trapeze artist. And I'm going to go ahead and, just for funsies, let you see the boat. Because I can do that.
With the power of technology.
What a beautiful boat.
It is a beautiful boat. It's so beautiful, in fact, that I'm going to show the audience too, because I love the audience.
Yeah, I think this is the boat that took the Fab Five down the river. I think the Fairwaters was it.
It is, actually.
Because I remember the name Talia, too.
Okay, there we go. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So
It's
sexy.
a beautiful boat.
But yeah, two-masted boat. You notice that there's actually 3 ballista on the thing. 2 towards the back on the aft deck, and 1 towards the bow of the ship. You're given a little bit of an explanation because you're going to be traveling together for the next 4 days, and you do need to know how all this stuff works. So basically, the ballistas, it takes 2 people to work. 1 person to load the weapon, 1 person to draw it back, and then to fire it. So it takes, from a mechanic standpoint, it basically takes 3 actions to fire, but it fires a really, really big old freaking bolt. Like, it's damn near a spear size, or at least a harpoon. And you kind of look it over, and it can definitely do a lot of damage. The rest of the ship is fairly straightforward. It is there's 2 floors to it. There's the main deck and then below deck, and there's also, the captain has a cabin of their own, which they show you and tell you that the crew also has dinner in here and kind of does like a family meal sort of situation. But other than that, you're going to be bunking below decks. You You can see your 2 donkeys down there as well. They're well cared for and kind of sequestered and hobbled towards the back of the boat. And you're also given an opportunity to check in with all your supplies and things like that as they're preparing to set sail. So, for the next 2 days, you have a lot of time on your hands because it's actually a 4-day journey. So, during that time, I just want to know, what do each of you kind of do during the voyage? You have a lot of options. You can just kind of hang out and chill. You can hang out up top and watch. You can learn. You can do whatever your heart's desire. I just want to know what. Anybody have anything they want to do while they're on the ship?
I think Delphine's hiding it because she doesn't want people to like know that this is something she's really interested in. But she was kind of excited when she saw that Urzak was there because it's been a while. But she's gonna find him, do a little bit of sparring and a little bit of training since we're gonna be on this boat for 4 days.
Okay, I like it. So you're gonna do some training together. What else
Hope
is
you've been
that?
keeping up on your sword skills.
They've kept me in the library a lot, but I've been doing my best. The sword's still a little heavy, even though it looks kinda light.
Maybe more conditioning's in order.
Maybe the sea air? Humidity will weigh it down?
You never know.
I like it. So, while the 2 of them spend their days on deck practicing and preparing themselves and getting a little training, which I am going to have you roll some dice here in a few minutes. But before that, I kind of want to know what everyone else is planning. So, Corin, what you got?
Corwan being the researcher and just the guy that's the knowledge. I think he's gonna go to each and every crew member that would be willing to like sit down with him, and he's just gonna kind of ask him questions about what's it like with life on the waters. So like, what's your job on here, and just kind of like almost kind of get like started like ask him questions about themselves because he loves knowing about people, and he's just gonna start just really kind of digging into them. Is whatever info they give them, that's what he's going for. That's the kind of things that he always appreciated when he saw in reports of field researchers, making those contacts. And so that's what he's going to kind of do. He's going to just get as much info as he can about these people.
Okay. So I feel like for you, that's going to definitely be like a persuasion check. So for the 2 of you, Delphine and Urzak, I've been trying to sit here and think to myself what kind of role that would be for you. Since Delphine, since you're a blade singer, you're going to be here very soon. I'm thinking you could do a performance check, you could do an acrobatics check, or if you have something you would argue is better, you can do that. And same thing for you, Urzak. What kind of role do you think would be perfect for training?
Athletics.
Athletics?
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, right now, Delphine is not that great with the sword. Like, she can use it, kind of. So I was also thinking athletics because it's only okay.
Okay, so the 2 of you are going to do athletics checks. Corwin is going to be doing a persuasion check. Vide, what do you plan on doing during your time?
I think one thing Vide would probably do is work on making some more of that ammo, just so he doesn't have to worry about it later on. Other than that, probably just kind of hanging out, just chatting with the other party members and the crew.
Okay, so for crafting your ammunition, that is going to be a bit of a time-consuming thing to do, but you have all the equipment. So this is probably going to be a tinker's check for you. How about you, Danika?
So Danika is really excited to be on the ship. She likes traveling, so she loves being on the boat. And so she definitely has to pull a Titanic and just go to the bow of the ship and put up her arms and just do it. But after that, she's gonna start practicing her flute again. And after a while, she's gonna go up to Corwan, and she's gonna be just so sincere, and she's gonna be like, Mr. Corwan, I know my performance at the shop wasn't the best, but if you'd watch this one just one more time.
And he's like, you know what? I think you got more in you. And he's going to kind of like look at her. He's going to give her guidance.
Okay.
So you get a D4.
I like it. Okay, so I want all those checks. Vide, you're going to basically just do a dexterity check because I just remembered you don't get that proficiency until third level. So.
He might guide himself when he's talking to people up, talk himself up. Just. Oh.
I'll even do you a solid, Urzak, and I won't use any magic.
You get a D4 to that, Nat, for your.
She rolled it.
Oh, okay. It's a. Corey got an 18 on for persuasion.
I got
15.
my check.
Just barely better than
I
me.
got a 16 athletics.
Man, I should have guidance to myself.
You said no magic.
Nope, I said no magic.
Okay, so as the boat coasts down the coast, why not? As the boat travels down the coast towards Rising Moor, yeah, Delphine, Urzak. Well, Urzak, you are much more experienced as a fighter than Delphine is, and there's no doubt about that. So during your training time, you're easily able to not only keep up, but to deflect everything that she throws at you. But she's keeping up with you because she only rolled one lower. So while you are definitely much more skilled than she is, you can see that the training that you're giving her, or at least she's definitely a step above she was the last time the two of you sparred together. For Corwan, with your you guided yourself, so with an 18, meeting all the individuals and talking to them, they have a lot of stories to tell. They've had some interesting times. They mostly function as a fishing vessel and doing some light trade, but occasionally they've been hired by the Conclave to do a few different jobs. They tell you the story of how one time about 28 years ago they brought this group of probably one of the weirdest groups they've ever had to book passage on their ship down to this poor town called Laverin, and they kept running into all sorts. They ran into monks. They had harpies attack them. It was just insane.
It's like, wait a minute. That wouldn't have been the Fab Five, would it?
That is actually the names.
I translated Blood from a Stone and Veil. I translated their tales into halfling. They were amazing. You knew them?
Oh, absolutely. They were an interesting crew. They brought this dwarf with them that was training this human on the boat, and it was just a wild time. And they like just keep telling you all these different stories about things that happened during their voyage.
He's eating it all up. He's like, I've translated almost all of their tales into halfling. It's fascinating work. I mean, they did a great service for Europa. Yeah, they were great people. I love what they did for the Conclave too. It's awesome. So he's just geeking out about that. But he's just loving their stories, just their even their fishing stories. He hasn't been out in a long time, so he's just soaking up as much as he can from all of these people and just loving every second of it.
Okay. Let's see here. Danika, with your 16, much better. You're playing your instrument, you're getting everybody riled up. Some of the crew comes up and listens on deck, and just kind of clap along and are enjoying the whole thing. It's a wonderful time. You definitely. What happened last time in the inn? That was just that was nothing. This is Danika in her true form. She's playing wonderful. While all that's going on, Vide is downstairs on the lower level of the ship. He's got his little cauldron out. He built a little fire in a little tin that in a brazier to keep it from burning through the deck. Melted the lead, poured it into the little molds that Falderal made for you. You start working on the black powder and stuff like that, and it's starting to come along. You probably are able to successfully make about 6 more bullets with everything over the course of those few days of travel. Now, because this is the very first time we're all together and we're playing, we got to have battle. We got to have a combat. So I want somebody, I don't care who, roll a d20 for me, and we're gonna see what kind of encounter you have while going down the coast.
Not it.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh,
It's either gonna be very good or very bad.
I'm so excited.
Let's get that nat one out of the way
This
now.
kind of D20 roll, it's on a table, so usually it's towards those top numbers that you get the really bad stuff. So hopefully that's what this is.
You hope anyway. Well, here's what happens. So about 3 days go by, and it's been a relatively easy voyage. As the 3rd day comes to an end, it's getting to right about dusk. And all of you are on deck. Danika's playing her music. Delphine and Urzak are just hacking away at each other, practicing. Vide, you've just come up to the top deck and are just kind of checking to see what everybody's going on, when at the top of the mast, at the crow's nest, you hear the voice of the tabaxi woman yelling out, "Look out!" And you all look to see where they're pointing, as from the coast you can see a large figure begin flying through the air towards the boat. So I need everyone to roll for initiative as you see a manticore flying towards you.
That's gonna be a copper dragon.
Why did I tell you that I would do this with no magic?
Ooh.
Okay. Click the token, then hit initiative, right?
Yep, click the token, then hit initiative.
Look at that! 20, let's go.
Wow. Look at this crap. I've got 5 and you are all
That's okay.
rocking it out.
No, that's technically 6. I don't know why it rolled it with advantage.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Well, thank God that I got better than the manticore.
Yeah, I rolled a nat 1 on that one, so lovely. Okay, so while there are people on the boat, the people on the boat have to run the boat. They will defend themselves if attacked, but for the most part, their job is keeping you afloat and going the right direction so you don't, hit a rock or run into the coast or anything like that. But I am going to give one of them initiative just to keep in mind who's doing what.
I'm going to give Bardic Inspiration to Vide.
Well, you can on your turn.
Oh, I didn't know that had to be on turn. Damn it.
Yeah, but you're not too far from the
Yeah,
front, so-
you're not too far from the front, so it's okay. But this is what you see. A large creature beginning to fly towards the boat, just off the coast. This thing is, well, pretty freaking wicked, and you can see it on the camera right now. It has the body of a lion, the wings of a bat, and the tail of, well, kind of like a scorpion, but with a lot more spikes on it. The thing is vicious and massive in size, and it looks hungry. So, with that in mind, we have Urzak on deck. Or first up with Vide on deck. So Urzak, whatever. I'm terrible at pronunciation.
Urzak is fine.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna throw a javelin. I have a few of those. I'm gonna throw one at a distance to try to dissuade it from coming our way.
Okay, that's absolutely fair. What kind of range do you have on the javelin?
Oh, that's a good question. Does it say that on this sheet somewhere? I imagine it's like, what, 60 feet?
Let's double check.
30, 120. So 30 with regular if you have sharpshooter, 120, or you could throw at disadvantage at 120. Up to 120.
So you can see on the map that there he is. There you all are on the foredeck right there.
Oh.
So you could technically throw it from right where you are. However, it's going to be a disadvantage.
I have 30 speed. If I can get to here, I'm going to move. Maybe I can get within range? No, because it's only 30 feet, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 30 feet at regular range. So.
Okay. Well, I'll just make one disadvantage roll and hope my luck is good today.
Absolutely. Go ahead and throw that javelin.
Click.
Woohoo! That's pretty good.
Okay.
18?
Yep. 18 is definitely going to hit.
Right. Okay, so that is 9 piercing damage.
You heft that javelin, kind of aiming, looking at that guy. You launch it, and your aim is true. It flies through the air, striking it right in the shoulder. The thing kind of cries out in annoyance and a little bit of pain, but it took the hit. That's your movement and your action. You got a bonus action?
Can I, like, make an intimidation check as a bonus action to be like, you don't want this smoke, get out of here, type deal?
So, here's the way I do stuff like skills. You can use an action or a bonus action to use a skill. A bonus action is usually a higher DC because you're spending less time doing it. But you can absolutely do that if you want to.
Why not? I don't think I have any other relevant bonus actions at this moment.
Sure. Make an intimidation check and tell us what it is you're doing to be intimidated.
I'm just mean mugging this manticore, just like staring daggers at him like, don't come over here. I'm watching you. You want more of those javelins? I opened my like weird quiver of javelins I have strapped to my back. Like, I got more of those.
Okay. So we'll see what happens, man. Their turn. I like it.
16, by the way.
Yeah. 16's not too bad. You just kind of stare at it and give it that mean mug, and the thing definitely seems to be eyeing you as it's flying. It is flying towards you, but it's not its turn yet. So it definitely looks like it took notice of what you did.
Great. That's it for me.
Okay. Next up, Vide. Vide, you just saw your pal and new companion launch a javelin. What are you wanting to do?
So, first off, as a free action, Vide reaches down, grabs that skull mask that's on his side, and puts it on. Can't keep it on, but we'll pretend it's on for now. He's going to move up 30 feet. 5, 20, 25. I'll go 30 right there. He's going to reach down on his hip and pull out his pistol. Take aim at said manticore, or not pistol, revolver, sorry. And that is a 19 to hit.
Oh yeah, 19 definitely hits.
For 6 damage.
You hear this loud explosion from this odd sort of instrument that Vide has been carrying around at his hip. And then you just see the thing flapping there and kind of jolt as it's impacted by the shot. It was loud, and it was right next to you, Urzak, and it probably causes a little bit of ringing in your ears when that happens.
That's a interesting point of order. Are firearms like commonplace in the
Firearms
world
are not at all. Firearms are actually, you've never seen this before in your life. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
I assume, do you have any bonus action you want to do, Vide?
I do not have bonus actions quite yet.
Fair enough. That's going to be it for your turn. We got Danika next. Danika, you just saw a big explosion and a little bit of thunder coming out from Vide, and a Manicore is on its way towards you. What do you want to do?
So Danika's going to move about 30 feet kind of closer to it. And then she is going to cast Vicious Mockery.
Vicious Mockery. What's the range on Vicious Mockery?
I think it's 60 feet.
And yeah, I'd say you can hit it. What is a Vicious Mockery? How does it work?
I don't know, give me a second. Let me get this rolling. Okay, here we go. So when I do attack, do I just click? Oops, wrong one.
Yes, under the attacks and spells. Perfect. Okay, so that's a Wisdom saving throw. So while I'm rolling that Wisdom saving throw, do you have a good Vicious Mockery to give to this Manicore?
She's gonna look him up and down. And she's like, "You're not even that fluffy for a cat."
Sometimes it's not rolling. I don't know why the hell not. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and reload roll 20 real quick. But here's gonna be his Wisdom saving throw. It's a D20 plus a 1. Oh, that's not rolling either. What the hell?
You want me to roll for you?
No, I'm just gonna reload it. My apologies. There it goes.
Good, it's only a 5.
Yeah, so with a 6, he definitely failed. Which means that not only do your insults hit this creature, but he has disadvantage on the next attack roll. So that's great.
Perfect.
Awesome.
And then for my bonus action, I would like to give Bardic Inspiration to Danika. Or not, that's me.
Typical bard. Giving themselves all the bardic.
I mean, nice try.
I'm all about that shit.
Oh yeah.
Who are you giving your Bardic Inspiration to?
I'm gonna give it to Delphine.
Delphine. Got it. Okay. Well, with that, the captain is looks over their shoulder, sees the Manicore, yells out to you, "Keep that thing off of us! We can't let it get too close. It'll destroy the sails." But she is going to maintain her position. She's going to be calling out to her crew to batten down the hatches. You can see that the Goliath is still on deck. Mikkel, who is going to be working with rivets to bind up the sails again, get those up. That way they're less in danger of being damaged. So on the crew's turn, that's kind of what you see them doing. They're battening down the hatches. They're getting ready for this assault. But next up is Delphine, who has Bardic Inspiration right now. So what would you like to do with that, Delphine?
I would like to cast Mage Armor on myself.
That's fair.
So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm going to move away as well, I think. Only because I can't do the bonus a bonus action. So I'm gonna move back toward our friendly little cleric. Well, go get him, friend. Slaps him on the back.
That's a good
We got
idea.
this. We got this.
Can't hear you.
Well, speaking of which, Corwan, what are you doing?
I mean, he's gonna. He goes, yeah, it's good, yeah. Huh. Oh yeah, you guys are all big and tall, and I'm down here. All right. Huh. He's gonna kind of like steady his breath a little bit. He's like, all right, Lady Gandala, we can do this. I call upon you, help me out here. And he's gonna kind of like tap his little staff, which his little staff is just kind of like a gnarled wooden stick, but at the top it's kind of shaped like a cornucopia, which is his goddess's symbol. He's gonna say a couple little words. He's gonna cast Bless, and he's gonna give it to his three companions that are up there at the rail. So Danika, Urzak, and Vide. So you guys are each gonna get a D4 on your attacks and saving throws. Here, I'll toss it up real quick. I'm not Bane. No, you guys don't want that one. You want the Bless. It's the next B in the
What I really
line.
meant.
You want Bless. So he's holding that out, and he's kind of like standing behind you, and he's giving you those encouraging words kind of from the back, saying, it's like, all right, guys, we can do this. It's like, you got like Lady Gandala on your side now.
Well, each of you now have a little fist on your token, too, which means that the three of you are blessed.
And then, yeah, he's just going to kind of sit here kind of in the stair, because he's only got 25 feet of movement with his little legs. So he's going to kind of sit here in the stairway to kind of keep an eye on his new companions and the crew, just in case anything happens.
Absolutely. Well, next up we have that Manicore, who saw Urzak mean-mugging him, didn't take too kindly to that. Then Danika came and viciously mocked him. So it kind of didn't so much scare him away as really piss him off. However, I am going to give you a second disadvantage on these attacks here because of the fact that you did roll so high on that intimidation. So he's getting disadvantage on the first attack. Is Vicious Mockery just the first attack?
Yeah, it's just the first.
Yeah, on the first one. So on this time, it's actually going to get it on 2, not 1, because of that high intimidation roll. So what it's going to be doing is it's got a 50-foot fly speed. It's pretty quick and nimble, and it comes flying around 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 45 and 50 feet to flying right alongside. And the first attack, well, it's coming at you, Urzak, but it is at disadvantage. So basically, as it's flying, you see that big tail covered in spikes flick, and it right towards you, a spike from the tail, shoots off of it, and comes speeding towards you, almost like a missile.
Oof.
And that is a 16 to hit.
My armor class is 18.
Nice. Do you have a shield?
I do have a shield.
You raise up that shield just as that spike comes speeding towards your face, deflecting it, and it goes flying up harmlessly. It's gonna
I kind of
send...
pull back and I smirk at him and go, ha!
Love it. Second attack is being sent at Danika. This one's at you, Danika, but it is also at disadvantage because of Urzak just, completely mean-mugging him. That's a 14 to hit.
My AC is 15.
Nice. So you easily dance away, using that nimble action of a bard just to spin away from it as the spike hits the deck and just is impaled into the ground. The creature then roars angrily. And it's going to shoot one more spike, and it's coming at Urzak. That's a 20 to hit.
that hits.
Taunting it as you did, it sends that last spike right at you. It grazes you, it takes a deep cut out of your shoulder, doing 5 points of piercing damage. It's not too terrible. And guess what? That's it for its turn. So, Urzak, what do you do in response?
Getting hit by the spike, Urzak kind of recoils back and goes, yeah, alright, I kind of deserve that. If you'll allow it, I would like to take one of these spikes and throw it back in the manner that I just did with my javelin.
Absolutely. I'll even let you use your javelin as damage.
Okay, is this? I'm in range now. It's 25 feet away from me.
Yeah.
So this is a normal attack. You'll love to see it. That's a nat one.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
You don't love to see that.
You grab that spike that impaled into the wood, pulling it up and launching it, but and the action kind of threw you off balance a little bit, and the Manicore sees it coming and just does this barrel roll out of the way and misses.
Respect. I'm going to... Is Lay on Hands a bonus action?
I believe it's an action.
It's an action. Okay. Well, then I'll worry about that later. That's my turn.
Fair enough. Vide, you're up next.
Alright, Vide is going to move here. Gonna again take aim.
Move the mic closer to your mouth.
Sorry. That's a 15 to hit.
15 does hit.
That would be for 4 damage.
Boom! Second shot comes out, bringing everyone around you ears. Your aim is true, and it strikes the creature, and you see that little spray of blood come out from the wound. It flaps and kind of shudders a little bit, taking the damage. It's taking a few hits now, but still definitely up. Oh, actually, you also, don't forget, you do have the Bless on there. It wouldn't have helped Urzak because it was a 1, but just keep that in mind, all 3 of you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you hit it
Well,
regardless.
I didn't need it,
but
though.
You staying where you are?
Yeah, I think so. Vide's just, he wants this thing dead. He's focused. He's not gonna back up.
Okay, fair enough. Danika, you're up next.
So Danika is going to cast Dissonant Whispers on it.
Ooh. Dissonant Whispers. Pretty sure that's a wisdom save as well.
Did it not click? Okay, hold on. Did it work?
No, not yet.
I think I might need to reload roll 20.
Yeah, it is a wisdom save.
Yeah. He rolled a 15, which I believe does save, but it's still going to take the half damage. Yeah. Yep. Looks like. Oh wow! Yeah, a ton of
there
them
we
just
go.
popped up.
Oh!
Well, we're just going to go ahead and take that first one.
My bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's 10 points of psychic damage. He did save, so he's going to take half of that, 5 points of psychic damage.
But will my bless affect it at all?
Nah,
No.
yours wasn't an attack roll.
Okay.
No. Bless affects attack rolls and saving throws.
Okay.
Okay. Next up is the crew who are moving about. They're beginning to raise up the sails. They're tying it off. The Manicore is more focused on your group, at least, than the crew. So that's good right now. Delphine, you're up next.
I'm going to first cast Hex on it, choosing. I didn't need to roll, but I thought it would do the spell card. I'm gonna choose Strength in case it tries to rip the sails, so maybe it'll help keep it from ripping the sails.
Okay. Absolutely.
And then I'm gonna firebolt it for my action. 17 to hit.
17 does hit.
So that's 2 fire, 1 force damage.
Okay. You send that bolt of fire up, hitting the creature, burning it just a little bit, but it also takes that force damage with the sun just of extra energy. Is that it for your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to I'm gonna move a little closer to the edge, just so I know that I'm gonna miss the sails if I shoot any more fire.
That's absolutely valid. Okay, Corwan, you're up next.
He's gonna keep his bless going, so he's gonna keep concentrating on that, but he's gonna come up and kind of utter a couple of things. He's like, you're kind of ugly! He's just gonna throw Sacred Flame at it. It's DC 13 on a dex save. Because he doesn't he's not a very violent person, so he doesn't have those bones in the body.
Oh, unfortunately, that's a dirty 20, so he saves.
He's like, I see what you got going on there, Manicore. And he's just, he'll move a little closer to some of the crew, because I guess he's really more worried about them staying healthy than his own compatriots. They seem like big, strong, tough people, and he's probably got his little book out, making vicious notes. He's like, his green, powerful muscles throw the, he's just sitting there, doing almost kind of like a play-by-play in his book. He's like, his golden armor is shining bright, and
love it.
This is gonna turn into fanfic.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Immediate first thought, so I'm glad it wasn't just.
Okay, next up is the Manicore. He's got 3 attacks with his tail spikes. He's not getting closer. He's more worried about the things throwing shit at him. So he's going to send 3 tail spikes out, hitting 1 at Urzak, 1 at Vide, and 1 at Danika. First one's at Urzak.
Please miss.
That's 20 to hit.
I asked
Silvery Barbs.
please.
Silvery Barbs.
I'm gonna
Okay.
cast Silvery Barbs.
Ooh.
So they have to re-roll that d20 and take the lowest.
Got it.
And I'm gonna give advantage to Urzak.
Okay, so Urzak, you got advantage on your next attack. That's an 11, so that's gonna miss.
See,
Good
that's what
use of
happens.
silvery
You just
barbs.
have to ask nicely.
Yeah. With a little help from your magical friend, that spike misses. Second attack is going at Vide. That's a 16 to hit.
Yes, unfortunately that hits.
That's 8 points of piercing damage. Ouch. Third attack is going at Danika. That's a 23. Yeah, that hits.
Oh no!
Ouch.
5 points of piercing damage. I'm going to kill him before they get to Barovia. How do
I
you
know.
like that?
Right.
Yeah, this is
I
session
only-
0, man.
I only have one reaction. I'm sorry.
Very ouch.
And only
Very
so many
ouch.
spell slots, too.
Yep. We'll see what happens. It's looking pretty cocky at this point. It really is, because it's already seen it spiked up a lot of you, and you're looking bloodied. So it's gonna fly towards y'all and come get right up on there. You see it kind of land on the edge of the ship, and you ever see like a cat balance itself on a really small ledge or something like that? The front paws and the back paws are kind of just all hanging on it at the same time. That's what it's doing right now on the side of the ship, but it weighs a lot, and so the entire boat just kind of starts to tilt a little bit in that direction. It's looking cocky, it's looking arrogant, it's looking hungry. But Urzak, you're up next, and you got advantage.
Big mistake. I'm gonna take my longsword out and slash at it, since it's at point blank range, and I have advantage on this because of Delphine's lovely silvery barbs.
And you have a D4 just in case.
No, it's a 24.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Oh my god, my damage rolls are so bad. That's 5 damage.
You slash into the creature with that longsword, cutting a long slice along one of its shoulder blades. It starts bleeding out a little bit. It's definitely looking bloody at this point, but it's still got a decent amount of health left. That's your attack action. Do you have
That's my
anything
attack
else?
action. I have no bonus actions that I know about.
Okay. So yeah, bonus actions. The only other one that I did forget to mention that one, that drinking a potion is a bonus action in my games.
I forgot we had potions.
Yeah,
Yeah, we get 6 of them.
your group does have 6 potions. You could have distributed them at any point. I'm not going to quibble about that one, or you can save them till later. It's entirely up to you. But
I think I'm okay for now.
okay.
If all else fails, I know Corwan got me. If nobody else got me, I know Corwan got me.
I'm saving my last spell slot for that very reason.
Fair enough. But Vide, you are up next, and this thing is right up in your grill. What are you doing?
Yeah, so Vide isn't very happy at all. His eyes kind of narrow. If you're actually looking at him, they get just a little more cloudy. He's gonna take a stab at him with his bowie. 17 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits. Thing doesn't have a lot of AC.
For 4 damage.
Okay. Pull out that bowie and give it a big O stab right into its chest. About the same place that Urzak just slashed at it. Taking some more damage. It's definitely bleeding out.
And then, as a bonus action, I'm going to go ahead and use my second wind. I am going to heal myself a bit. Let's see, it's 1d10.
No, it's 1d10 plus your level.
Yep. So that'd be, I got 7 more hit points back.
Hey, nothing to sneeze at there. I assume that's it for your turn, or you want to use your move?
That will be it. I'm still not backing up because I'm feeling a lot better now.
Okay. Danika, you're up next.
Danika is going to cast Vicious Mockery.
Okay, that's your action to do so. And the Mana Core rolled a 7. That's a failure. How do you viciously mock this cat?
Oh God, I don't know.
If you can't think of anything, you don't have to. I was just giving you the opportunity.
Okay, good, because I'm not.
No worries. You just spit an insult at it or whatever you do, and it takes the 3 points of psychic damage. It has disadvantage on its next attack, which is a good thing. The crew seeing all of these, the Manicore up there is kind of freaking out at this point. You hear Captain Talia yell, "Mikko! Get that thing off my ship!" I'm going to go ahead and use Mikkel's movement to head over, running as hard as it can, and for its attack action, it's going to do a shove.
No, maybe I should have done dexterity.
No, this would be a strength.
No, this is strength, so this
yeah,
is...
this would be a
Okay.
post strength.
Good.
Mikkel rolled an 18.
Nice.
Oh.
This is at disadvantage. That's a nat 1, my friends. So you just watch this gigantic Goliath of a sailor come running up, shoving his full weight into this Manicore. The Manicore was not flapping, it was perched on there, and it just does this, oh shit! Almost like Hans Gruber falling off Nakatomi Plaza. And it just falls backward and splash into the water. It's going to end up right there. Delphine, it's your turn, and you can see that this Manicore is now like its head's barely above water. It's trying to splash and keep itself afloat, but it's not doing a great job because, you know, it just cannonballed into the ocean. So, what do you want to do?
I don't want to get cocky. I don't think Delphine would let me. Oh, but I really want to.
Do it.
Do
Strike him
it.
down.
Okay. I'm gonna use my last spell slot to do this. So I would have to use all of my movement. To get right up here. And I am gonna use Frost Fingers, which is a Constitution saving throw. And it's a 15-foot cone, and it should miss the people next to me.
Hopefully.
So, freezing cold water comes out. Not water, but,
Here,
you know.
yeah.
So, I'm not familiar with this spell, so
Okay,
tell us
I'm
a
gonna-
little bit about Frost Fingers.
So Frost Fingers, freezing cold blasts from your fingertips in a 15-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a Constitution saving throw, take 2d8 cold damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. The cold freezes non-magical liquids in the area that aren't being worn or carried.
Okay, so this just got really interesting. I rolled a 6, so he's going to take the full damage there, which looks like 8 points of cold damage.
And
But
the
then-
water around him also freezes.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. So as you blast this cold downward, like I imagine there's a little bit of frost on the side of the boat, but it's wood, so it's not going to take like a lot, like it's not going to hurt it too much. But like all this ice just solidifies around this Manicore as it's like pawing its way, trying to get up there out of the water again, and it just solidifies, which is not good for this guy by any stretch of the imagination.
And then it takes 1 force damage from the hex.
Okay, gonna add that 1 force damage there. Whew, this thing is not looking great, that's for sure. It's bobbing there a little bit, half encased in ice that just solidified around him.
I don't know how long this will last.
Yeah. Corwin, you're up next.
He's gonna kind of approach. He saw the creature go down. Like I said, he's writing his book, like the mighty Goliath. His muscles rippling with barbaric fury, pushes the creature into the waters below. And he just runs up. He put his book away, and he looks over the edge. And I guess he, like I said, he doesn't have much at this moment in time, but he would throw another sacred flame down on this, and he would also kind of request the DM. Would that be maybe a disadvantage on dexterity since he's somewhat frozen in a block of ice floating on top of the water now?
I'm going to say that yes, absolutely. This thing is half encased in ice and is going to suck for him on his turn next. So absolutely, it's going to be a disadvantage on the saving throw. But he's still managed to roll a fucking 50.
Yeah, it's got like a plus.
How does that happen?
It's got a +3 to it. I get
so
it.
like, have you ever put a top in like a pool of water and spun it? And it like kind of spins a little bit and bobs up and down. That's basically what you see this Manicore do. It somehow gets a wing out and like tries to twist as this bolt of sacred flame comes down, and it spins like a fucking Beyblade in the water, and then bounces a little bit, and somehow manages to not get hit by the sacred flame.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'll get it one of these days. I'm working on it. I'm new. He's gonna just move, but he had 5 more feet. He's gonna tuck back in and kind of just perch down and hide behind Vide over the thing. So if it comes up, it's gonna see Vide before it sees Corwan.
It's Vide.
Oh well, Vide. Well, you know what? Vide. He's like, you'll see. He's like, you got this. He's like, I'm behind you, 100%. He's just got his little book out, ready to take the next note that happens.
Absolutely. Well, next up is the Manicore, who is partially encased by ice as this frozen ocean water is around him. Yeah, I'm going to say he has to use his action to break free of this before he can get out of the water. That's just it. There's no rhyme or reason why not. So he's going to be making a strength check to try to break free from this ice.
Nice.
Actually, I don't think he is.
Yeah, I don't think he is at all. The wing's out. He's trying to struggle. He's flapping a little bit, trying to pull away, but he's not managing to do so. The ice is somehow too thick and too coated to him to be able to break free. So that was his fucking action. He's going to be using his movement to just like use his tail to try to push himself away a little bit in the water. He's only going to be able to move about 10 feet. So I'm going to move him 1, 2 to right there. That's literally all he's able to do on his turn. Well played, friends. Well played. And guess what? Top of the turn order. Urzak. Come on. You can tell this thing is hurt. It's kind of panicking a little bit because it's in the water and it's partially frozen. What do you do?
I'm thinking of doing something stupid. How big is like the little ice thing that Delphine made around the Manticore?
Have you ever seen a buoy in the ocean?
Okay.
There's like a little bit of room to put your feet on and you can hold on to it, but there's not like a lot of room to move around it. So like, could you jump on it and land on it? Maybe, but it's going to be an acrobatics check to stay on.
Okay. I want to so bad.
So what you're going to need to do, you're going to have to make like a running jump or something to try to get on him. So that's going to be, but is it possible? Absolutely. So athletics check to jump on it, acrobatics check to stay on it. If you make those 2 rolls, you got an action to do with whatever the fuck you want.
Okay, so Urzak takes 10 feet back, makes a running leap, and athletics. Oh, I forgot to take it off advantage. It's a 19.
19 is more than enough, I will say. You just go take running, step onto the railing, and launch yourself upward, landing just on the edge of this little ice float that's connected to the
Great. I shall.
Acrobatics check to stay there.
Can I take my attack, like stab down on its head, and then like use that to like give myself some leverage?
You know what? If you make your attack and it hits, I'll allow you to make your acrobatics at advantage.
Fantastic. I will do so. How about a 13?
Let's see. No, unfortunately. A 13.
Oh, bummer. Goodbye, guys. I'm drowning.
Wait, you have bless. You have bless.
I have
Oh,
bless.
you have bless. We
Yeah,
forgot
that's
about
it is for
bless.
saving throw, yeah. Oh, for a hit, yeah. Oh, 15 hits.
Oh,
Out of 15.
it does hit. You are so lucky with the blessing of the halfling goddess. You go flying through the air, your longsword just up like that fucking D&D movie promo that I've seen recently, where the guy like just jumps and is flying through the air to hit something. Just like that scene, you come down, your longsword pointed into the thing, right into its chest, doing 11 points of slashing damage. Give me that acrobatics check at advantage.
18.
18, more than enough. You stab into the thing, and your longsword is firmly in place, like it lodges into the sternum of the creature and just sticks there. And you just hold on to it. Your feet start to move a little bit, and then you just plant on the ice, and you are right there on it. That's it for that turn. Fun times.
That turn.
Yeah, good turn. Love it.
Can I do
Vide. Yeah.
another bonus action intimidate check?
I'll allow it, absolutely.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
13.
No, that wasn't a disadvantage.
It wasn't? I thought you said like the checks would be.
Oh,
a
wait a minute.
disadvantage.
No, the
Oh,
check
they're
is
bonus.
just
Oh,
a
this-
higher DC. It's a
Oh, it's
higher
a higher
DC.
Intimidate, yeah.
Well,
So that would be a 23, which
23.
is a lot better than a 16.
Mm.
And it definitely seems to, like, it's panicking now. Yeah, I'm not going to... What's your passive insight?
I
10
don't know.
plus your insight modifier.
12.
Okay. Yeah, even with a 12, you'd be able to see the panic and fear in its eyes. It was not expecting all of this when it came after a simple fishing boat.
I roar back at it.
You roar back
Louder
at it
somehow.
menacingly. Absolutely, you do. Vide, you're up next.
Alright, Vide's gonna just step oh shoot, I gotta... Hold on. There we go. I think I got
Is
it.
that-
Okay, there. I wanna step aside
Is
over
that Vide
here.
or is that Delphine or Danika?
I accidentally hit it twice. It's fine.
Oh.
And then I'm gonna put my Bowie knife back, and I'm gonna pull out my whip for a 24 to hit. Damn.
Yeah, that hits.
For 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage. Yeah, you send that whip crack, smack, right across the thing's face. Huge cut along its face, taking out one of its eyes. It is barely alive. Barely alive. It seems to be just holding on. You have a bonus action, or is that your turn?
That's it, cause yeah, I don't have any other bonus actions.
Okay, Danika, finish this thing off.
Vicious mockery.
Just saves. You try to insult it, and it's like it literally has 2 hit points left,
Oh no!
Oh my
Come on.
and you insult it, and it's just like, huh?
Oh.
Come on, Delphine. I know you can take this thing out.
As long as I can hit it, absolutely. I'm gonna shoot a firebolt at it.
I'm not in the way, am I?
Oh my god, are you kidding?
But
She's got hex damage too.
I also have hex damage.
Oh, it's
Oh, okay, good. 'Cause that would have been hilarious.
What is happening?
All of my
Fuck is happening?
all of my hex damage has been a 1.
Oh, I know why. It's not rolling the d6.
It's just rolling 1.
It's
Yeah, this
just rolling
happened with
the
Oh.
coins too.
I can fix it for
Then-
you. It's fine. It's okay. It's not a big deal because even 2
5.
points, yeah. You know what, Delphine? Tell me, please. How does it look when your firebolt rips through this?
So what happens is, out of the tip of her rapier that she was just using to spar with Urzak, this almost like shimmery, like firebolt comes out, and as it impacts with the Hex's curse, it starts a slow burn. Where it just starts getting some of the spikes, and then the wings catch. You're muted.
So as that thing burns with the fire, the ice that's formed around it just begins to melt away. It starts to slowly sink down into the water. Urzak, give me an athletics check to pull your weapon out real quick.
18.
More than
Nice.
enough. Yeah, you pull your weapon out and begin swimming over to the ship again, just as Mikkel throws down a rope ladder to let you climb back up. Well done, everybody. You have defeated him. And with that, I think this is a perfect time to just take a pause for a minute. It's 9:43. We can go ahead and just end things here and pick up in 2 weeks if y'all want to. I do have a little bit more prepared for when you arrive, but we can very easily start that next time. It's up to y'all.
I mean, I'm up for what anybody else.
Alright,
I'm good to go either way.
same.
I mean, I think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I'm off tomorrow, so I'm good.
No, I can't stay on too much later. Yeah.
About maybe 45 more minutes.
Sure. I'm good.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, absolutely. And we're going to take a quick 10-minute break just to do a quick bio, and when we come back, we're going to do the last little bit of tonight's story and pick up next time in 2 weeks. So stay tuned, everybody. We will be right back. Howdy, everybody. We are back. We are doing this crazy session 0 right now. We're having a lot of fun. We just killed a mana core. That's always a good time. And guess what? After the mana core is defeated and his body sinks into the ocean once again, Urzak is able to be pulled back on deck by the Goliath Mikkel, and yeah, you're all congratulated by the captain and the crew. They very much appreciate the fact that their ship was very minimally damaged. Like there's a tiny bit of frost damage that'll eventually melt, and they might have to
Sorry about
do a
that.
little sanding and that sort of thing. But the reality is and Captain Talia tells you that. Well, yes, that it is a little bit of a hindrance, but in the grand scheme of things, dealing with a little bit of sanding and polishing is much better than having my sails ripped up and my crew eaten. So thank you very much for that. We really appreciate your efforts. And good news is that's the only encounter you have on your 4-day journey.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who needs to have a good night's rest, you had a good night's rest, your spells are restored, your hit points are restored. Everyone spends that last day, kind of chatting each other up and patching up your wounds and and doing the general sort of things to prepare yourselves for the next leg of the journey. You arrive in the port of Rising Moor towards the late afternoon of the 4th day. Rising Moor is not nearly as big of a town as Northamia, by any stretch of the imagination. But, I mean, let's be honest, it's a port town compared to the literal capital of a massive country. So, yeah, expectations are a little different. As for the town of Rising Moor itself, it's mostly row houses and small shanties towards the port, but the farther back you can see that the buildings turn towards just a gray-brown brick stone, most likely quarried from the nearby mountain range. Your ship hits port with little difficulty. Northamia, Northamia.
I got it right. Let's go.
Yep. Okay. You arrive at the port with little difficulty. The captain expertly brings the ship in and docks. They inform you that they will get your wagon and your donkeys out of the hold and get them onto shore and have them stabled at a nearby stable for the night, so you can pick them up first thing in the morning. Now, the orders that you were given, the manila envelope that you handed, tells you that you are to report to Dame Meriwether Brooks, the governor of the city. You have all been invited to join her as guests for dinner, an invitation that you can hardly decline. Dame Brooks is a well-known friend and patron of the Conclave, and it was, as I mentioned before, it was she who sent the request to the Conclave in the first place. So, you kind of have to make it. There's a cool autumn breeze blowing through the town as you all make your way from the port towards the large keep towards the back of the town. You can see that the streets are bustling, even at this point of the day, as the day's coming to a close. Hawkers are shouting their wares, even as they make their slow preparations to close down for the night. And there's plenty of song and merrymaking coming from inside the taverns as you pass. But you can also tell that there are quite a few guards moving about town. More than once you're stopped and challenged as newcomers, and you inform them that you're members of the Conclave, heading up to the Dame's Keep. Corwan can even flash his Conclave tattoo to show that, yeah, he is official and all that. And for the most part, they don't give you any trouble, but even with a low passive insight, you can tell that there's a bit of a cloud over the air, as though they seem to be expecting trouble and are looking for it. Now, once inside the keep, you are all escorted to an elaborately decorated dining room, where you are introduced to Dame Meriwether, her husband, and a couple other city dignitaries, while you're served a hot and spicy soup, and as well as a tenderly cooked pheasant and a mixture of local greens. Danika, you've met the governor a few times. She's the one who handed you the assignment, after all, and so you're pretty familiar with the fact that this city, while run by a governor, is also run by a small council of local plutocrats, and you recognize a few of them here at dinner as well. While you're all kind of hanging out with the governor there, throughout dinner, the dame recounts to her guests dazzling tales of her great accomplishments before she had retired to the Rising. But you can also tell that there is something kind of off about the governor. Something's odd. Go ahead and everybody give me an insight check.
Ooh.
That's a 17.
Okay. Go ahead and call out your numbers as you roll.
A 9.
8.
10.
Okay. So, Danika, you can definitely tell. You're very familiar with the dame. Vide, you can also sense that something is off. The dame seems worried. There's concern on her brow. Even as she's talking about, how great a warrior she once was, and all that, you can tell that there's something else that's weighing heavily on her mind. Does anybody do anything during that dinner?
You guys gonna be rude and call her out at dinner?
Danica's gonna lean over to her friend. Am I sitting by her? I guess. How's the table thing?
Sure, you can absolutely be sitting next to her. Why not?
She's gonna lean over to her. That they're kind of friends. They've known each other for a while, and she's just gonna lean over to Dame. She's gonna be like, "Is everything okay? You seem a little bit out of sorts."
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Ooh.
24.
Okay. Yeah, with a 24, you can tell that you're questioning is kind of caught a little bit off, and a little bit of a pall comes over the woman. She tells you, well, Danika, you've been gone for a little time, so I suppose you wouldn't know this, but we've had a band of wayward travelers camped just outside the town wall. They seemed harmless at first, but I've received reports just this afternoon that they've begun harassing the townsfolk and other visitors as they come and go from the town. They're demanding wine and money, and they keep threatening to put hexes on anybody who doesn't pay up. Yesterday I ordered several guards to go and scare them away, but I just received a report today, just a little bit ago, that they weren't able to get the job done. I've told that when the guards returned, they spoke sympathetically about the visitors and suggested that I give them money and wine and gifts to placate them, send them on their way. Fairly convinced that they were magically charmed, but what to do? I don't want armed conflict at my front gates, but I can't allow this to continue.
Danika is gonna. You're gonna see kind of like a little bit of alarm go over her face, and you just see her panic for a second, and she's like, they haven't done anything to the children, right? The children at the home.
Oh no, they haven't bothered anybody in the town itself. They seem to be willing to stick to the outskirts on the other side of the wall, but we've had quite a few travelers come into town through the southern gates, and all of them have been reporting that these visitors stop them and demand money and beg for wine and threaten them if they refuse.
Danika is gonna kind of turn to her friends and I guess her acquaintances. Their friendship is still growing, and And she's gonna be like, do we want to check out the situation, see if we can do anything to help, or what do you guys think?
Corey will be like, I mean, we do have, we do have a job. I mean, I suppose it wouldn't be good guests of us not to help somehow. But I do need to reiterate the Conclave has sent us here for a very specific reason.
I mean, if it's on the way, I don't see any harm.
Quick stop. Quick conversation. Could be all it takes.
Yeah, I feel like we should at least try to help.
I agree, it would be rude of us as guests to not do something, but let's hope this doesn't stray us from our task.
If you're willing to at least go out and talk to them, I'm grateful. Appreciate it. I'm not asking anyone to go to war or anything. I just want them gone. If they're willing to leave by dawn, I'm not going to take the matter any further. But if they're unwilling to leave, I'm afraid I'm going to have to go out tomorrow with my guards. I will burn their wagons to the ground if I have to.
Oh, okay.
But I would prefer a peaceful settlement. And if you're able to mediate a speedy resolution, I would take it as a personal favor.
Heart's gonna flutter a little bit. He's do you know when these brigands, when did they show up?
Like I said, just a couple days ago.
Alright, so this was well after the incident, the earthquake that opened the pass, then okay.
Oh,
Could they
that
have
happened months ago?
Could they have come from the open pass? Do we have people watching it?
I can see how they would have come from
Well,
the
I mean,
pass. I assume they've just been traveling along the coast like anyone else. They just seem to be wayfarers from all reports. But as I said, I haven't actually spoken to them.
I mean, if they did happen to come through the pass, they could probably be of some help to us.
If they seem to be intimidating the townsfolk, I'm not sure they would be willing to help, but perhaps my emerald friend here could persuade them. He's just gonna kind of like look up at Urzak.
Urzak stands up and says, Don't trouble yourself about this. The resolution will be swift. And gets up and prepares to leave.
You see, he's writing furiously in his book. Resolution swift.
Vide also stands up and kind of puts his hand on his rifle and is like, yeah, well, not rifle. What is it? Revolver. I'm gonna call it everything but what it actually is.
Hey, starts with an R. You were close.
But he puts his hand on his revolver. Yes, there will be a resolution.
Danika is gonna pat Dame's shoulder, and she's gonna be like, look, see, we're all willing to help. If we do take care of this trouble for you, I hope you make a good donation to the orphanage.
I can certainly make sure that happens. Thank you. I appreciate your keeping this dealing with this swift and capable, hopefully peaceful.
Yes. Peaceful.
Yeah, she kind of smiles as well, and as she smiles, the camera kind of pans to the very large marble fireplace in one corner of the dining room, where a very large greatsword is hanging over it, well polished, but you can tell it's seen some use. She understands the concept of peaceful resolution.
Aggressive negotiations.
Yes. Peaceful.
The pale
Biggest air
man.
quotes of all time.
The pale man touches his mysterious boomstick. It says peaceful with an air. She's like, oh, this is great stuff.
The dinner winds down.
I kind of look down over Corwin's shoulder.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just kind of look down over Corwin's shoulder, like as he's writing, because it's very easy for me to just like look.
Oh
over
yeah,
him.
it's super simple.
He's so much shorter than me. Just like, what are you writing there?
I'm just taking good notes. This is a good field researcher. Every bit could be helpful. You have no idea. Like I may have put a little flourish on my interpretations of things, but that makes for a good story. Nobody likes to read, and he walked out the door. I mean, that's boring shit. I mean, who wants that? Yeah, this is good stuff. This is gonna be high quality. I mean, they're gonna want to read this everywhere. Oh, but only the Conclave's ever gonna get to see it. Maybe I could sneak a book or two out. Go back and keep writing stuff in.
Who says you can't keep a copy for your own use?
Maybe I could be a best-selling author later, The magical tales of Cog and his friends. Don't worry, you'll get good billing, don't worry.
Well, the dinner does eventually wind down. Dessert, fruit, cheese, cordials are offered. Eventually, the dinner party ends. The governor thanks you all once again and hopes that you do a good job. She expects much from the Conclave and hopes that her money is put to good use. So, the evening is yours. You can. She said she wanted to help with this night if possible. So I assume you're all going to head out to find these group of travelers.
Yep,
Yeah.
Sure.
Immediately.
I'm gonna, because Delphine already knows that they've been aggressive and intimidating, she's gonna cast Mage Armor as they leave.
Yeah, absolutely do it. It lasts 8 hours, so you've got plenty of time. You all make your way south, heading out of the city. You can see the very large wall of wood and stone that encircles this port town around the edge, away from the coast. It's decent enough protection for a small town as this, but nowhere near the majesty that North Emil has. The guards pause you and ask you what you're doing, but it's not difficult to explain. Hey, I was sent by the governor. I'm going to go deal with those vagabonds out in front. They're like, oh yes, we know exactly where they are. They're camped out on the hill to the south, about maybe 1,000 feet or so. You can't miss it. And they open the door for you.
God, I just feel like 1,000 feet. My legs are only like 4 inches tall, guys.
Would you like me to carry you?
As much as I would enjoy that, I can't bring myself the self-respect. I must walk on my own. Maybe one day.
I'm just silently picturing a baby Bjorn for Core.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe it could work.
I expect some fan art of that one.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
Well, I'm 112.
Oh.
And my people, we usually get up to about 150, 160 if we're lucky. Sometimes 175. We've had a couple of cranky guys that just didn't want to go. So yeah, I'm kind of in my twilight years, but it's. I'm getting back out there though.
It's good to get out there again.
And these old joints, they spend a lot of time sitting at tables reading books. So I'm kind of if you hear some cracks, it's probably just my knees.
I have spent over 100 years in a library. I understand what reading books is like.
But your people, I mean, you guys live for, I mean, long times. I mean, 100 years to you is nothing.
Right. You're not wrong.
So he'll just kind of like chipper writing down everything he's reading, as you're talking. He's like, chapter 3, like, all right, let's go.
Those 6 books are going to be gone in like a day and a half.
I mean, his stuff's in his wrist pocket. I mean, it's like, you know what? We'll probably have to pick up some extra books for him. Because he could probably recode for a new book to put in the pocket. He'll. But I mean, I can't imagine books are probably. They can't be that super expensive, so.
Find out at some point. But you make your way traveling south towards the hill. It's definitely evening by this point. The skies are growing dark. It's not too overcast, so there is a bit of a moon. And you can see up at the top of a hill, not too far away from the road leading towards the town, that there is a very large bonfire surrounded by about a dozen three very large barrel-shaped objects in shadows that the light of the fire kind of flickering about slightly illuminated. You can also see in that light about a dozen or so individuals kind of dancing around it, moving about, and a little bit of music playing in the distance.
I know exactly who they are. God damn it.
You can hear, as the wind kind of blows towards you, the sound of accordion and the drum and the cymbal and a little bit of singing, some percussion and sounds of dancing coming from this camp. They seem to be in very good spirits, and there's a lot of cheering and laughter coming from the camp as you approach. What do you all want? How do you all approach? Is the first question I should ask. And what do you do once you arrive?
I think Urzak makes his entrance. He's not trying to be like quiet about it at all. He marches up, very official looking, and just kind of doesn't say anything at first. Just kind of looks over the situation and waits for somebody to like take notice of him.
Okay, so you're just boldly walking up towards them. I assume everybody's just following along too.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I'll follow along a little bit at a distance, but I mean, it's, still close enough by.
Danika is going to take out her instrument and start playing in tune with the rest of the music as she follows.
Absolutely. There's definitely that. The closer you get to the camp, the louder the music becomes, but much softer does the motion behind you. So I'm going to turn off all that music. But anyway, as you're getting closer, you can definitely see that there are a good dozen and a half, both men and women, all of them human, that are gathered around this crackling, very large bonfire in the center of this camp. Those things that you saw in the distance, the big shapes, you can tell that they are now 3 barrel-topped wagons that are parked at odd angles around the fire, creating a sort of barrier between the fire and the city behind it. You can see that tied to a nearby tree, there are a dozen or so draft horses, all grazing on the grass, wearing bright coats and bangles and tassels that are affixed to the edges. The people themselves are brightly colored clothes. The women all wear big flowing dresses and blouses with vests that kind of, lift and separate and give the just a very, very feminine appearance to them all, while also just decked out in bangles and rings and bracelets and necklaces. They're actually a little bit gaudy almost. decked out, but they are all dancing around this fire. There's a few of them singing. There's others playing the music. You can see in the distance, and pretty much everybody has either a flask or a tankard in their hand, smashing them against one another, cheering, and making just quite a bit of merriment. Now, Urzak, when you first approach, just stepping into the firelight, scowling, nobody really seems to take notice of you. And in fact, like, you stand there for a minute, and it's almost as though they're purposely ignoring you until you see a very large human man. He's old, he's got gray hair, a big, bushy beard, and he kind of claps his hands together and smiles as he's approaching you, saying, "Welcome, welcome! Welcome, friends! How can I help you? Welcome to our fire, please! Can I offer you a drink?"
Brain just left.
Your brain just left with this big guy smiling at you, and like he's smiling. There's the music playing. Definitely not the vibe that you were.
This was not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah.
Or is that kind of just like,
I think that Delphine kind of seeing like how nice he is kind of dips back into how she was raised. And being from the Feywild, you accept hospitality with hospitality. So that is very hospitable of you, and will take a cup. If not, she won't drink it, but she'll take it.
Okay. Yeah. If you walk up and seem to accept, the big man kind of waves over, and you see a pair of much younger ladies come running over, and they're barefoot. They got bangles on their ankles. They got bells on the edges of their clothes, and they just kind of giggle as they approach, and they come bearing tankards for everybody of a thick red liquid that smells quite alcoholic and quite sweet, obviously wine.
Vide will accept, take a tankard from them. He doesn't drink it, mind you, but he will still take it.
I will take a cup. I'm going to do Divine Sense as I do so.
Okay.
Just to make sure there's no... okay, how do I do this? Presence of strong evil registers on your senses like a noxious odor, and powerful good rings like heavenly music in your ears. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect such forces. You know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you that's not behind total cover, is kind of the operating effect here.
Absolutely. So you focus inward and send out that divine sense, aided to you and gifted to you by Balrus and Fire. You focus and sense and kind of reach out, but you do not sense any fiends, undead, or celestials in 60 feet.
Okay.
And, but, yeah, go ahead.
Urzak just kind of stares back down at the drink and is truly just baffled. Like, this is not what he was expecting at all.
Danika is going to kind of keep playing her flute and dance a bit before reaching out her hand to the individual. And she's going to be like, "Oh, well, pleasure to meet you, sir. My name is Danika Aniki from the city of Risingmore."
Welcome, Danika. It is so nice to meet you. My name is Stanmir. This over there, that is my wife, Damina. And that over there, dancing by the fire, that is my son, Ratika. It is welcome to you in the camp. Please, please, come around and enjoy. we are getting ready to make our way home very soon, but what we are celebrating for now. Please come and enjoy.
Are there any links?
Where's home? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where's home?
Where's home? Where's home is quite far from here, but not too far. It is in a land called Barovia. Wonderful country, very beautiful.
I ever heard of a place called Barovia?
Make a history check.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Can
had
I-
a proficient in history.
Can I cast guidance on myself?
Yeah, you can cast guidance on yourself. It is a spell. It has somatic and verbal components. So he does like notice the fact that you're doing this, but he makes no comment of it.
I got a 17.
You have never heard of a place.
Guidance doesn't matter. I rolled a natural.
Oh.
They have any symbols or anything on their wagons that are noticeable?
You can make a perception check.
Nope.
Yikes.
Two
Two in a
natural
row.
ones.
See.
It's thimble of wine that he's partaking of. It's a little much.
Yeah, unfortunately, you heard the name Barovia and you're like, I've never heard of that place like that before in my life.
Did you venture here through the Cragmire Mountains?
Cragmire Mountains? I know of no Cragmire Mountains.
And he just point up. He's like, those right there.
Oh, yes, indeed. I did come from the... We did take a pass down the mountain range, indeed.
I guess you mean... Oh, go ahead.
You are strange individuals. I have not seen you all before. Why do you come to our camp?
The ladies, the powers that be inside, I guess were curious as to your intentions with their city. Said maybe you guys were being a little disruptive, and they just wanted us to come out and find out what your intentions were here. Make sure if you're peaceful or not.
The man Stanmere kind of chuckles a little bit. Oh, don't worry. We have no wish to make enemies of Dame Brooks or her wealthy city. As I said, we plan on leaving in the morning, and we will be returning to our home and he points back there, in the mountains. But if you don't mind hanging and dancing and enjoying our time, I would very much appreciate it and would love to tell you a story before we go.
I mean, they're
Don't you
planning
listen?
to leave.
First you listen, then we sleep, then we go. It's a fair trade, don't you think?
I do suppose we should report back to the dame. But a story wouldn't hurt, at least, I suppose.
Well, you know what? If you need anybody to perform with you during your story, I'll play some tunes.
Standemir smiles and says, "Oh, very well, very well. Please come over to the fire. Let's get some music going. Let's get some drums." And he yells out loudly, and the timbre changes and gets really, really intense. And you all walk over and take seats down by the fire. There are plenty of logs and chairs and a few rocking chairs as well, placed around the fire for the old ladies and everyone seems to be gathering close to listen as Stanimir comes and stands in front of the fire. You see his wife come running up and hands him a big old wine flask that he takes and takes a big old draw from, and then spits it out, causing a huge fire to come up from the bonfire. The flames turn from orange to green as he spits in. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just said theatrics.
Yeah. Yes. The man smiles and he says, "We come from an ancient land, whose name is long forgotten, a land of kings. Our enemies forced us from our homes, and now we wander lost roads." As he says this, a dark shape seems to take form in the fire. A large dark shape that seems to coalesce into the form of a man being knocked from his horse, a spear piercing his side. Stanimir continues. "One night, a wounded soldier staggers into our camp and collapses. We nursed his terrible injury and quenched his thirst with wine. He survived. When we asked him who he was, he would not say. All he wanted was to return to his home, but we were deep in the lands of his enemies. We took him as one of our own and followed him back to his home. His enemies hunted him. They said he was a prince, yet we did not give him up, even when the assassins fell on us like wolves." As he continues to speak, deep in the bonfire, you see the dark figure standing with his sword drawn, fighting off a host of shadowy shapes. The man continues saying, "This man was of royal blood, fought to protect us as we protected him. We bore him safely to his home, and he thanked us and said, 'I owe you my life. Stay as long as you wish. Leave when you choose, and know that you will always be safe here.'" The figure in the dancing fire vanquishes its final foe, and then it disappears in a cloud of smoke and embers as the fire dies down once again. Stanimir's face becomes somber as he says, "A curse has befallen our noble prince, turning him into a tyrant. We alone have the power to leave his domain. We traveled far and wide, searching for a way to free our lord and end the dread curse that has befallen him. But none in these lands seem to know the way to help him. Our leader, Madame Ava, knows much, and she seeks those wise in magic and history, hoping to aid our lord and free him from the curse. Alas, none in these lands seem to be able to conjure even hospitality, let alone help." The flames die even lower, the color gone from them returning to the orange. He looks at you all and he says, "At least some seem to be hospitable, willing to accept hospitality, maybe offer it in return. It is good to see some kind people before we return." And he kind of claps, and the rest of the travelers all seem to clap as well, and they begin just clapping and cheering at you. What do you all do?
I mean, I guess Cog would kind of start like clapping along with him, like, what is this? Look at his friends, like, is this what we're supposed to do? I mean, I'm a little lost here. Kind of weird, isn't it? Damn Vistani, I swear.
Shut up, Joe.
Bastard, I knew that as soon as you started describing it, I was like, fuck, I know who these people are. I mean, he would just, like, as he's writing stuff down, he's just like, he's like, starts clapping, he's like, oh, it was a pretty good show, I'm not gonna lie, I guess we gotta get back, he's gonna look at his friends, he's like, are we staying, are we going, what are we doing?
Well, we should probably let the dame know, that they're leaving in the morning, so nothing transpires.
Let me ask this of you, Stanimir. Are you planning on moving on, or are you planning on returning back to where you came from tomorrow morning?
He looks at you and he says, fortunately, we must keep on. We hope to find somebody who can help us with our Lord's curse, and this town does not seem to be able to do so. We shall continue on down the coast away from this town and seek help elsewhere.
What's the curse that has befallen you said he was a prince. What's the curse that's befallen him?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, good lord. It's 12.
The man seems to harden up a little. He says, alas, it is nothing that I can explain myself. I am not wise in these matters. If you wish to know more, seek out Madame Eva. She has the answers that you can find. She might be able to tell you more.
I assume she's here amongst your number?
No, my friend. She is back in Barovia.
Oh. He's gonna look at his friends and goes, well, I mean, he said they came from the mountain pass, and that is where we're supposed to be going. Should we... do we just want to maybe check in and then we leave with them in the morning? Or... they seem to know the way. They said
I am inclined to agree.
They can get in and out of his realm. I mean, I guess he'd kind of like maybe backside goes, I don't know what that means. I mean, are we going to be able to leave if we go? I mean, maybe they'll be able to bring us out. I don't know, but I mean, if they came from the mountain, that's where we're supposed to go.
I mean, safety in numbers?
They don't seem violent as of yet, so I think we might be okay. They seem like a bunch of drunkards, but I mean, they seem jovial.
As you say the word drunkard, you just hear in the backward, yeah! More things clash.
Yeah, I mean... Alright, I'm a little scared now. But,
Urzak gets a good chuckle out of it and decides to finally loosen up a little bit and take a drink.
It is sweet. It is potent. It is a little bit thick, but in a good way. It's pretty rich, and like even from a few sips, you can't help but get a little bit of that light buzz from strong drink. Yeah.
Raises it up, goes, ah!
Ah, yes, this is such a good vintage. This is from the Wizard of Wine Winery. If you ever visit that place, be sure to try it out. It is the best.
So scared and so excited at the same time for this shit. I mean, he sees, Cog look up, he see the big, strong, his big, strong paladin. He's like, well, he's drinking it, but I mean, it's like, all right, I'll just take a sip. because his constitution's going to be much smaller. You know, he's only like, I mean, shit, how many pounds? I mean, he's 3'10". Yeah, he's only 39 pounds, so it's not going to take much to cook him over. So it's like
this is going to go straight to your head.
And he's going to take a sip. He's like, it's pretty good, yeah.
And Vide will every so often kind of, raise the glass as if to take a drink, but does
Just kind of throws it behind his shoulder.
It's dark. I mean, maybe he can.
Yeah, probably. Like, honestly, like these individuals, they're partying, they're having a good time, they're getting ready to head off in the morning, so they couldn't care less if you drink their drink or not. If you're just splashing it over your shoulder, you could.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily do that. I'm not actually drinking it.
He says it's not poisoned. With all,
it's not.
I mean, of course, the DM would say that.
Doesn't seem poisoned so far.
So far.
Thanksgiving dinner I had at his house. He's like, "Don't worry, it's not poison," and I trusted him. Vincent's been a little shaky since that day. I mean, we can stick around and maybe get to know these people a little bit. Can we send a message back to the dame saying they're leaving, or does somebody have to report in, or how's this gonna?
I suppose I could go pass along message and just make it a late night tonight. Come back here.
So are you planning on staying with them all night long and camping there?
I don't know if he'd camp there, but I mean, he might start asking some questions about him. It's like, so what's this Barovia? Trying to gain some information, just doing basic, the thing he's been doing, just kind of chatting them up. They seem like a jovial bunch, and he may not get much info out of anybody because they've probably been drinking a lot, but yeah, he'll just kind of like, so what's going on? What's this Barovia? And, try and get her out. He's like, so what were the dark forces fighting your prince? And, it's like, what did I see in the flames? What was all that meant?
Yeah.
Waiting for him to come back,
Go ahead and make one more persuasion check. We'll see if you can get anything more out of them.
God damn it!
It's like the dice are telling a story.
What the? That's sad.
So you tried to question them.
You need it.
Yeah, you tried to question them. You tried to get more information. But other than the fact that they tell you that Barovia is in a large valley surrounded by mountains, and that is a beautiful country with wonderful people, they really don't give a whole lot more information out. Any question about their lord or the dark forces just kind of get dismissed or talked around. And so it's really hard to glean a whole lot of information from it.
And Corwan... go ahead. It's like Corwan knows how long this pass has been closed off, right? I mean, that's the part of the info that was given to him, saying, like, nobody...
Yeah. This pass has never been opened before. The area that it goes into, nobody's been to before because it's just in mountains. It's really hard to fucking get there.
He's like, how could this? And he's just sitting there thinking of writing the notes. He goes, they keep talking of ages past, but how could nobody in the rope know about this? He's like, this just seems like a mystery.
Danika is going to be in kind of enjoying the music and dancing and having fun, and then she's gonna go up to Stanimir, and she's gonna like bat her lashes, and she's like, Mr. Stanimir, I always wanted to meet a prince. Can you tell me more about him, just a little bit?
Fine, I guess I'll let you have one more persuasion check.
Thanks.
Like I said, the DC just gets higher every single fucking time.
Oh, god damn.
Yeah, your first roll was an 8, so that's what we're going with.
Yeesh.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like you say this, and as you sidle up to this woman and kind of give him the long eyelashes, you see his wife standing over his shoulder,
Bye-bye.
giving you the daggers, holding a cleaver, and she she very quickly calls out to her husband, telling him to come, and he gives you like a, one of those, what can you do, shrugs before walking away.
And like right as he's walking, he goes, "Wait a minute! Did you say your prince's name?" And he's just like waiting to write it down. If he gives it to him.
And he just walks off and does not respond.
Prince in the mountains. Nobody knows about this.
Delphine would have went with Urzak, but before leaving, would go up to Vide, take her rapier and cut off one of her braids, and hands it to her. The governor might want us to follow them in the morning. I'll just send you a message, if you guys need to come back or not.
I'll take the braid, like... Oh, okay.
You also see that where she cut off the hair, it is starting to grow back.
Whoa.
I'll stash the braid and, very visibly confused, but I'll go with it.
Well, if you make your way back and inform the governor that these travelers are leaving, it's late at night and she's in bed already, but you can leave a message with the hall boy there that they are going to be heading out. He does promise to inform the captain of the guard as well. And other than that, like, you're not invited to sleep with them by any means. They'll get you sauced. They'll get you drunk if you really want to. But eventually they're like, okay, they're going to give you the Midwestern goodbye of slapping their legs and go, oh, time to go. Yep.
Danika's going to invite everybody to her home to get some rest.
Absolutely. You all can get a free long night's rest, heading back to Danika's small home near the bridge. And however thick-skulled you happen to be when you wake up, you do wake up to find bright dawn. You make your way to the stable to get your donkeys, your wagon, and all your supplies, and begin preparations to make your way out to your mission.
Mhm.
As you leave the city, the first thing you do spot, and it is early. Like, I assume you're all leaving fairly close after dawn.
I think we want to. I think we want to catch
yeah.
the Barovians before they get too far away.
Okay. Yeah. Even getting up super early, like right at dawn, gathering up your things and making your way out, when you get out of the city, you can't help but notice that up on the hill, the wagons are gone. They seem to have been headed out. Your group makes your way up to the hill, and if you like, you can make a survival check to kind of see if you can track where they went, if you'd like.
I'll do it. Why not?
Can I give guidance?
Certainly.
Wouldn't mind.
God, I promise next week they'll be better.
So guidance is a D4.
12.
It's not too difficult to tell. Like, it's 3 wagons, a bunch of horses, and a lot of people moving on foot. So it's very easy to tell that this group had left very early and seemed to be making their way. I got to do. They're making their way southwest, away from the town and away from the direction that you all are heading. Probably doing what they said. They're out spreading the word, looking for somebody who knows something about curses, yada yada yada. but the pass is open, and you have your mission of your own. So I would assume that your group heads towards the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good to know that they made good on their word and was leaving at dawn, like they said. It takes probably about a good 6 hours or so to get towards the mountains. You have the scout reports given to the Conclave. You know exactly where the mountains pass opens up, and so it's not difficult to track your way towards it. The mountain pass itself is quiet, and you continue to make your way up it through the mountains as the crimson sun creeps closer and closer towards the horizon. You've had a full day of travel, and you're going at a steady pace. As the sun begins to edge towards the horizon, as you're traveling, you occasionally pass very thin, reedy trees that cling towards the mountainside every 30 or so paces. The sky itself, as you're traveling, begins to purple, and the air grows chill as why is that not? Oh well. Anyway, yeah, the skies begin to purple and the air grows chill, and a sharp wind seems to push over the mountain range towards you, bringing with it a rolling fog that washes over the entire caravan of you. You all hurriedly light the lamps because you do have a few lanterns in your kit, but visibility is low, and you can barely see 10 feet around you. Inside the lanterns, the fire sputter as the mist swirls around the edges of your vision, growing thicker and thicker with each passing moment. It isn't long before the fog hangs thick in the air around you, turning the trees and rocks into gray, ghostly figures. With no choice but to press forward, you move slowly, carefully watching your footing as you make your way along the pass. And that, my friends, is where we're going to end things for this evening.
Yeah.
Heading to the mountain pass, you're making your way through the fog, and we'll find out what you find at the other side next week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Or 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks.
Why is that one working and not the other one?
I like how Delphine's like panic button is mage armor.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for playing today. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone who watched this evening. I'm hoping that you enjoyed everything we've done so far, and we'll come back in 2 weeks on the 12th, that we are beginning our very first official episode of Sonnet of Blood, a Curse of Strahd campaign. Now, at the end of every episode, I'm going to go around the table and let everybody introduce themselves, tell us who you are, and where we can find you on the internet. And let's go ahead and start to my left today, which is Joe. So, Joe, who are you and where can we find you?
Well, I'm Joe Trotter. I am COG in this campaign, but I'm normally Blood from Stone in our Random Rhapsody's Normal Mondays campaign of the Fab Five. I mean, I'm at Blood from a Stone. I don't even know how I spelled it on Twitter. I mean, I'm not. I follow
It's
a
on
bunch
the
of.
overlay.
I follow a bunch of D&D people and random politics stuff that I like, so it's not that important. But yeah, normally you can catch me every Monday, 7 to 10, Fab 5, the best character of the group. They won't admit that, but they all know it's true.
Not that you're biased or anything.
No, not at all. I'm very,
No,
very
not at
modest.
all.
Very modest. But,
Blood is one of my favorite characters.
that's right. She's my girl.
Aw. Well, great segue. Natalie, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
Hi, I'm Natalie, and you will find me here every other Wednesday on Random Rhapsody. This is my first D&D official campaign. If you do look for me on Twitter, it's Batty Baby, Batty_baby. I don't really follow that much. I'm kind of a noob to Twitter, but we'll go from there.
Okay. Daito, how about you?
Hi, I'm Dido. You can find me on Twitter at Dido11. I spend a lot of my time over on the Lost Caravan, where I do a bunch of one-shots and some of their mini campaigns, or I'm just in chat being a gremlin. This is the first time I've played with Random Rhapsody, and I had a really good time, and I'm excited for the horrors that wait us in this mist.
Ain't that the truth? Marty, how about you?
Hi, so I've been Marty. You can find me typically on Twitter at @BallMartian. I tweet every so often. I have my own D&D actual play, Wayfaring Strangers, where my band Winter Wayfarer plays Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, and all the music in the podcast is written and recorded by us. I am also a frequent guest on Bard Rock Cafe. You can catch me on a lot of their live streams and currently in their main campaign. And now here on Random Rhapsody, and I can't wait to continue.
Awesome. Okay, Brandy, go for it.
Yeah, I'm Brandy. You can find me here every Monday at 3, playing everybody's favorite Turtle Monk, currently Lapis. Who knows who she'll be in the future. But yeah, I'm on the Debauchery Circus campaign on the Random Rhapsody, and also here every other Wednesday. I'm on Twitter as @RiverDragon82. I really honestly don't use Twitter much at all, so you won't see much from me there.
Fair enough. Well, I am Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM here on the Random Rhapsody Network. You can follow me on the tweets and the Instas at @ScruffyWanderer. And besides running and playing games here, you can also find me on the Transverses All on the Table TTRPG network or content. So, on behalf of everyone here in the cast and crew and all of our friends in the Random Rhapsody group, I just want to say thank you all for watching. It's been a delight. So long, good luck, and until next time, may you live
off
until you die.
die.
Good night.
Oh, that's good.